everyone! My name is Mitz, and here we are back at Higurashi When They Cry. So, last time we left off, we saw how Mio Takano's pet project all taken off, and how she met Tomataki and Okanogi. I can only imagine how her relationship with him changed will be shown throughout this single chapter, but we also learned exactly how Mio managed to get under Hifumi Takano's care from her late father telling her the phone number on his deathbed, and her escaping the orphanage just in time to that one phone call, and literally just watching her friends die or just be heavily tortured when she's taken right back in. Yay. I was actually expecting way much worse in my brain from all the censoring and all that. It's not exactly better or worse, but, well, it's hard to categorize between the two which is better or worse in my brain right now. Oh, geez. But I guess we'll see exactly, maybe in this chapter or the next, exactly what changed Takano's mind from, following the research of her, I guess, Hifumi Takano's, project, and what changed her mind to scrap it and decide to, do, Armageddon in the town. Hopefully so. Or it just came out of nowhere, just for a power play thing to get up in the government or something like that, to get one up on it. I'm assuming, this is back in the rain, though, and she's, having this little flashback. How long have I been crying? I don't even know how long I've been comforted like this. My grandfather's hand is on my cheek to comfort me. I'm holding his hand lovingly and pressing my cheek against it. Are you okay? Grandpa. My grandfather put his other hand on my head. The warmth of his palms gradually calmed me down. Piles of documents were all around me. It was a mistake to sort through data while lying on a fluffy carpet. I must have fallen asleep and had a terrible dream. If you sleep facing down, the pressure of your chest makes it easier to have nightmares. Really? Because I always sleep facing down and I don't get any nightmares. Or dreams, technically speaking, so take your poison. The nightmares are literally just me just going unconscious and waking up with absolutely no memory what happened. It's getting quite late. Why don't you go to sleep, Miyoko? I'm fine. I took a nap, so I'm not sleeping anymore. I'm almost done, so I'm gonna finish up, okay? You have school tomorrow. You should go to sleep. Otherwise you'll get scolded for yawning again. Just one yawn is enough for that? Okay, yay. I've been going to bed late recently. Because of that, I yawn a lot at school. Even when I get a full night's sleep, I yawn a lot. What the fuck? My teacher must have written a note to my grandfather. Wow. And it also just means you don't have enough oxygen to your gosh dang brain, so I'm fine. I'll go to sleep as soon as I'm done. So please let me finish, okay? Gotta scribble through all these notes in the encyclopedias. Besides, you shouldn't mind me. Go back to your study and continue with your article. The day for him to present his findings is approaching. He's been working hard, devoting himself to his research, but there's unfortunately a limit to what an individual can do. He needs a collaborator in order to go further with his research. He has to explain that his investigation could be the key to solving the mysteries of human behavior, make people understand just how important his work is. But this research is about a very complicated subject. I mean, I guess it leads to a step of a maybe learning human behavior, but also, it goes, just researching a parasite. You'll probably just figure out the parasite first and foremost. And, human behavior is just a maybe second. Or fifth, or down the road. But this research is about a very complicated subject. So he couldn't seek assistance from just anyone. It has to be someone righteous and knowledgeable in their fucking field. Someone will be able to help him one day. Leaving that, my grandfather earnestly continued his research. I want to help him more, but all I can do is just sort through his data and tidy up his materials. I'll assist around the house so he can concentrate more on his research. This one day he's been just slowly studying, just like reading over all his notes, and just realize, oh, you're thinking about this wrong, Grandpa. It's actually right here, something you didn't consider before. And he has to change entire route all for that. You learn more than he does just from reading everything in his study. Oh my good god. He always tells me how helpful I am, but that's enough for me. I gotta be dependable, strong, smart, street smart. I will study hard, get into a good college, and learn many things, so I can actually be of assistance to his research. I'm a mediocre student right now, but I don't particularly like school. Maybe the teachers you actually had were bad, so but I will do it. I want to help my grandfather. If his heart were to fail and he couldn't continue his research, I wouldn't hesitate to cut up my own chest and offer my heart up for him. If he needs lungs, I'll give him my lungs. If any of his organs fail, I'll give him mine. There's nothing strange about those feelings. They're perfectly normal ones. For if he had found me even a day later, I might not have been alive. Oh, literally just like the same night, or literally just in the exact same morning? Even if I lived, it would either be without my body attacked, or my mind lost to me. In other words, I'm alive because my grandfather came to save me. If he hadn't rushed to find me, I wouldn't be here. So I won't hesitate to give up my life for him. Moreover, I'd be more than happy to do that. Even though I want to be with him forever, human lives aren't immortal unless we transfer consciousness to a computer. I don't think computers are a giant supply back then, and this is the 80s. Like, technically later than that, or the 40s, or like probably 50s or 60s based on the timing. So yeah, this thing can happen. Sorry. Just like how my parents died, it happens so suddenly, without any warning. I'll never heal from my parents' deaths, but now that I have my grandfather, I'm not sad. However, his existence isn't internal either. He may disappear all of a sudden for any unexpected reason, just like my parents. And that's why I wish to be part of him. Oh, that's what you meant by the lungs. That's a weird thing to say, actually. I thought you were like going with the whole thing about lungs that keep him alive, which about those feelings are fine. But if you're thinking like that way, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot just to say from one line. Oh, okay. I want to be. That's why I wish to be part of him. Whether I give him my organs or he gives me his, I just want a piece of him. What the fuck? That way, no matter what happens, we'll be together forever. I don't want to be alone ever again. Okay, that makes sense, but the part of him part, that's fucking creepy. Okay. I want to be with my grandfather forever. I want to help him forever. So does that mean if Fumi didn't give you the whole thing about the legacy about his reach and stuff like that, you would have done something else? Like maybe take a piece of his body or something after he died or something? Is that what I'm picking up from this? Is that what it says? If he didn't say that, you would have done something worse? Is that what I'm is that where this line of thought I was reading to me? Okay. Then be sure to go to sleep after you finish this, okay? Promise? Yep, I promise. We pinky promise into that. Double pinky promise. We smiled at each other, and my grandfather went back to his study. The drought of tears were making my cheeks itch. I headed to the bathroom to wash my face and brush my teeth. I looked at my face in the mirror. None of my grandfather's features are recognizable in my face. I mean, of course they aren't. Well, you're not blood related, but still. We're not related. You must have a family too, but I've never heard about them. Bad vibes, or just they don't matter to my research. He doesn't seem to want to talk about the subject, so I don't ever ask him about it. I don't care if he has real grandchildren or not. If I'm not related to him, I'm a granddaughter of Fumi Takano. I'm not just a granddaughter either. I want to be more than that. I don't want a parent and child relationship, nor a lover's relationship, nothing like that. I want something more stern that binds their souls, so not even a tragedy can destroy. I am Miyoko Takano, Fumi Takano's granddaughter. maybe it should be Mio instead. That's what my grandfather sometimes calls me. Ah, nickname. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. I want to succeed Hifumi's spirit. Since his name counts from 1 to 3, I wanted to share that 3 and be the 4th in this line. That's where the whole, I guess the 34 and like the, I guess the name comes from then. Today, my name changes. I wrote that new name in the mirror, in the fog, or my first thought was just just picking up lipstick and just drawing in the mirror. Mio Takano. What a wonderful name for the new me. Under the full moon's bright gloom. New day. Colonel, sir. Good to see you again. Takano-kun! Come on, no more Colonel stuff. No. I was worried when I heard you were ill. You sure look great now. My grandfather always told me he doesn't have any friends. Look at that fucking person over there. Fucking friendship material. He used to tell me everyone died in the war. But who's the fuck is that? That's not true. He lied to you. He has one very close friend. This is him. He is an elderly man my grandfather calls Colonel Koizumi. I don't know exactly where they met, but every time they get together, all they talk about is the military and the war. Nice. So I guess that's where they met. Oh, look at you, Mio-chan. How tall are you now? We just had a physical checkup the other day. I think I've grown 2 centimeters. Nice. That's wonderful. Good girl. Make sure you eat well, play a lot, and grow big and healthy. I envy you, Takano-kun, having such a cute granddaughter. Mr. Koizumi knows that my grandfather and I are related, but he always calls me his granddaughter. Nice. That makes me feel very happy, so I poured a little more black tea in his cup, almost to the brim. After I finished sipping tea, I left with a bow. I want to stay and listen to them talk, but I guess my grandfather doesn't want me to hear stories of the war. Yes. So he always makes me leave. I left before I was told to. But having to leave doesn't mean I need to go to a different room. Just be in a corner. I just head to the other side of the huge living room instead. Although I'm not right by them, I can still sit on the sofa and listen to their conversation. Just go into hushed tones because I'm not talking about grisly murder and death. If they need something, I can come help them right away. I try to earn points that way to prove I'm useful. I sat on a sofa away from them and started reading encyclopedia. I was making a joke, but look at that. While doing that, I try to listen to their conversation. That's great. The professor said they want to come over on Sunday, the week after next. Really? Thank you very much, Koizumi-san. Don't mention it. It just means the report you wrote was that interesting, Takano-kun. You're saying all this, nothing will be done about the research, honestly, and you're just giving him false hopes when you already know for the full reason why. Did you even tell him about all this before, or just always hit it before he died? Okay. They're showing a lot of interest. They even said it's possible that this research could receive the Nobel Prize. A Nobel Prize? That sounds wonderful. My grandfather laughed. Since he laughed so cheerfully, something great must have happened. Mr. Koizumi must have shown the society the essay my grandfather was about to announce, and gauged their reactions. And supposedly, they found it extremely interesting. That means they recognize the value of my grandfather's research. It's either, so this is either a lie, or like they actually do find it interesting, but they can't go through with it. I can't, again, buzz phrase of the day. I can't tell what's worse. The fact that, people find it interesting, but, they know they can't even continue it and give them the false hopes, or literally just going down just saying it's worthless. I don't know what would be worse to do in this situation either. Because either way, they're not going to do the research anyway. That makes me happy too. But what worries me is that you'll get affected with this syndrome yourself. Make sure you don't end up clawing out your own throat, okay? Gas mask every time. Protective throat thing, like an iron cloaker. I never know what those things, like those fabric things that cover up your neck is called. Not like a collar, but like something that actually covers up your neck, all the way from your collarbone to your chin. I never know what that thing is called. The closest thing I can think of is just a cloaker. Well, maybe I'm already infected. But Hinamizawa syndrome is harmless if you live a normal life. It was a dangerous disease back when the villagers believed in Oyashiro-sama and bound themselves with strict rules. Yeah, because they also lived in constant paranoia. Isn't that fun? Because you can't lower your guard down for a single second. For nothing. No one. But those have faded over time, and now people rarely show symptoms unless something major happens. Hysteria. After that many cases? A patient's emotional state has a lot to do with how the syndrome develops. As long as you live a normal life, there's nothing to worry about. So, when one is under a lot of pressure, like during the war, the disease gets worse. That's right. Well, there's nothing to worry about. The subjective symptom of the initial stage is a paranoia akin to that in depression. Once you notice it happening, you can teach yourself to relax emotionally and physically by using my breathing method, and you should also get at least 9 hours of sleep at night over a 1-week period. That's how you prevent it from worsening. In fact, of all the Hinamizawa soldiers under my direction, not even one died mysteriously. As he talks, Grandfather started demonstrating the Takano breathing method and a bizarre exercise technique. It's like almost like just a fun little new martial art he's just teaching over there, from the sound of it. The what was it again? The Takano breathing method. That's like just like making if you manage to master all of it, you can make a cyclone with your breath. According to him, this technique relaxes the body and lets blood and lymphatic fluid flow smoothly. As a result, you relax emotionally too. But the movements involved in the technique are so weird. I had to look away because my grandfather looks so silly. That also relaxes it, don't worry. That was the one thing about his research that I felt bad about. He looked silly about it. Oh. Grandfather asked me to do this exercise too. I don't want to make him sad, so I do it when instructed. I'm glad to hear that. Man, you also have the same exact crystal ashtray in your own house? Wow, nice. Fancy. Hideo Noguchi died in the middle of his research. So please, be careful, okay? However, Noguchi Sensei's great work is still acknowledged even after his death. As a researcher, I'm sure that was his long-term goal. Grandfather tells me about Hideo Noguchi often. He was born as the son of a poor farmer, but he studied hard and became a doctor. However, he was mistreated because of his background, and so he left Japan. Yay. He moved to the United States. It was around this area, There he made many accomplishments as a researcher. He discovered a vaccine for yellow fever. Grandfather's background is somewhat similar to his, so he often said that all his researchers, he admired him the most. Hideo Noguchi died in North Africa. Oh, what was he there for? Well, he discovered a vaccine for yellow fever. He heard it wasn't effective in yellow fever in North America. Oh, did he contract it there? He went there to research it, came down with the disease, and died. Yay. A researcher losing his life for his research. Sometimes that is a test of a researcher's courage. In that sense, Grandfather is very brave to visit Hinamizawa himself to gather information. He himself says he may already be infected. My first question is exactly how far away is your house from the town then? Although, my grandfather estimates from ancient texts that Hinamizawa syndrome was only a menace centuries ago. And now it's no different from the usual bacteria that share symbiosis with humans. Many people became ill of the disease during the war, but that was because they were in an extremely abnormal situation. In today's peaceful environment, it's almost impossible for a person to develop symptoms. He sounds very optimistic, but he never brought me with him to Hinamizawa, so maybe he isn't as optimistic as all that. Or maybe he just doesn't want to infect a kid with it, whom is still growing and learning. Maybe. However, since I live with them, there is a possibility that I'm already infected as well. Yes, it's the one thing I don't know. How does the fucking infection, go through all that? They've been researching it for over 30, 80 years, and so we don't even learn about that. We don't even know about that. They know how to make they know how to make a vaccine. Why don't they know how it gets transmitted? Please, why? Is it literally just affected by water suppliers, just like that, or just like affected food or anything like that? The air they breathe, and then somehow just transmits orally through words. I don't know how that entirely makes sense, except psychologically, but still, how? Why? But I'm not worried at all. That's because my grandfather has taught me that as long as I maintain myself physically and emotionally, I won't develop any symptoms. I know all about the horrible terminal symptoms of Hinamizawa syndrome, but I'm not overly fearful of them. Grandfather's enjoying his conversation with Mr. Koizumi. That's understandable. They have a more fun time talking about than experiencing the syndrome itself. Mr. Koizumi told him some great people showed great interest in his report. They even want to come over on Sunday, the week after that, to meet and talk to him directly. With the rapid advance of modern medicine, unexplored frontiers are steadily dwindling. Yeah, I can imagine, like, soon nothing will be entirely original. Nothing will become original is just someone's spin on it. An old thing. Was it possible that Hinamizawa syndrome my grandfather discovered might be a new continent in the field? It'll be decided in 2 weeks. It sounds like there will be more than one person coming, too. It also sounds like they are all important people in the society. They're all rich and famous, yet they aren't satisfied with just that. They all want to be involved with something that was worth an international award. And put their name attached to it so they know, I helped this thing, even just funded it. I was just there off in the corner, helping from the shadows. I was there. You could count on me to get this award, too. This is a chance to gain assistance and sponsorship at the same time. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll make sure to be here. Good luck. Wasn't Koizumi, is Koizumi just as rich back here, and then why couldn't he help? Well, besides the whole thing of, I'm just confused about the whole thing of Koizumi's conversation to this. I guess we're supposed to figure out this contrast right here, but now I'm just confused about this all right now. Why they're entertaining it if everyone knows they can't. Thank you very much. I owe everything. It's too early to say that. Let's wait until you find some sponsors. When time comes, let's have a toast with the treasured wine of yours. The oldest wine in the world. That was the last of their conversation. My grandfather kept his head bowed until Mr. Koizumi was gone. He sounded like he set up this great chance for my grandfather. So I bowed my head just like him. Did you hear that? Finally, it's a chance for me. There are people who are interested in my report. I know, I heard. Now you have people to fund you and people to help with your research. Well, it's not set in stone yet. It's only just, offers. Although he didn't want to admit it, he had a good feeling about it. The research he had concluded all alone was finally about to gain recognition, in some way. So, Sunday, the week after next? Quite, I'll be busy. Their first impression depends on my presentation. I'll have to rearrange my data. No, I probably should practice explaining things in front of people. Anyway, I have to make sure I don't forget anything. Boy, it'll be a lot of work to rearrange your data. Just make a little plastic little giant signboard to point at, just explain things completely. Your handwriting is bad, so maybe you should write bigger, large, bold font letters. Anyway, I'll be busy. Ignore that handwriting comment. The next 2 weeks will go by fast. You're right. I'll help you too. All the formalin jars have to be dusted. Formalin jars? Also, we'll need to straighten our rolled up documents and the bookcases and all that. There's books sprawled everywhere from the looks of it. You think leaving them laid out under the rug overnight would fix it? Oh, flattening them out, I guess. We have plenty of things to do. Mia, could you help me? Of course. She literally just said yes. I'll skip school for it. Okay. No, you can't miss school. We laugh together, thrust our fists into the air, and motivate ourselves to work hard toward the week after next. Since that day, my grandfather spent more time in the study. It's not easy to create a report that you're going to show other people. Copy machines haven't been invented back then, trying to write everything by hand. Every single gosh dang 20-page report. Everything had to be handwritten. He knows it's somewhere, but he just can't remember where he put the data he needs. As for me, I had to make sure I have enough guest cups to serve tea, so I'm counting them. Do I have enough tea leaves? Maybe I should go get something to go with tea. Biscuits. My grandfather knows nothing about these things. There's a whole list of chores to do. I need to clean the windows so the room will be bright, and what else? The 2 weeks passed quickly while we busied ourselves getting things done. The entire thing looked spotless. Just went through every single page of books in the shelves and then really just repaired them, literally. And quick as a flash. What a wonderful 2 weeks it was. I can finally feel that I'm actually doing something to help my grandfather with his research. I hope the day of the meeting will be as memorable one for my grandfather. I hope that day will be a beautiful and clear one. Pouring down rain. Just as I wished, the day is beautiful. And dusk comes. Evening. My grandfather, having dressed formally, paced around the study nervously. I'm also in a beautiful dress. I've only worn it once before, in my piano recital. Oh, nice. But I'm not nervous like my grandfather. His silly nervousness actually relaxes me. Your nervousness relaxes me, my nerves. Just seeing other people in pain makes me feel better. Are they here yet? Grandfather looked out the window. Did they ditched? Then a black car stopped in front of the gate. Back then, a car was a luxury item. I don't think I had even one classmate whose family owned a car. I can just imagine them the very second one kid's family does have, they'd be gloating and bragging about every single chance they get. I'll be fucking surprised if they didn't. Actually, it would. So it really makes sense that the men coming out of the car look respectable. Grandfather and I ran out to welcome them. Welcome. I'm Takano. Thank you for coming today. May I take your jacket? I agreed them to fill the role we decided ahead of time. Though my being relaxed by my grandfather's silliness ended that point. My being ended that. God damn it. Both my grandfather and I were stiff with anxiety as we greeted them now that the moment was here. Nice to meet you, Doctor. Are these just random bureaucrats or someone whom Takano meets later on? I'm assuming these are random people. Nice to meet you, Doctor. And hello, young lady. Are you his granddaughter? Yes. Mio, please say hello. Very nice to meet you. That's not hello. I'm Mio Takano. Aw, what a good girl. I'm here in place of Koizumi-sensei. Okay. Something came up and he can't make it today. Alright. He's very sorry. I see. I'm very sorry to hear that. The person who set up everything isn't here. My grandfather even has treasured wine ready. Just they promised 2 weeks ago. Okay. It just feels weird that you set all this up and just not be allowed to see this. Unless he figured no. I was gonna say unless he figured all this out before grandfather died, but no, it sounded like he learned about this a while ago. I feel very weird about this. He's pretty rude. Everyone, let me introduce you. This is Dr. Hifumi Takano. Dr. Takano was a leading member of the Research Center for the Prevention of Epidemics in Matsura during the war. He made many advances in developing synthetic food and synthetic alcohol as measures against malnutrition and ration shortages. Nice to meet you. Well, a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for having me. The men are even older than my grandfather. They take off their hats one at a time to greet him. Their beards, expensive-looking canes, and glasses tell me they are very high up in society. Grandfather bows to each one of them. Everyone, please, come to the study. Please excuse the mess. Come in, come in. Serve tea for everyone, please. Yes, I wasn't nervous at all earlier, but now I think I'm the most nervous one. All the nervousness replaced from the grandfather to you. Oh, nervousness and room is sucked into your body. I'm not the one making a presentation, and I'm not the one being evaluated, so it's ridiculous that I'm feeling so nervous. I don't know if I should use that as my excuse. I was so nervous I knocked over the thermos I had filled to the brim with hot water, and ruined the black tea I'd chosen specifically for this day. I apologized to my grandfather and started to boil water again. I just need enough for the guests. By the time I had cups of tea and cookies ready, grandfather's presentation was at his key part. Bribe them with all of that, and when the key part comes out so they think more favorably. Nice. It pierces the blood or lymph vessels and spreads to the spinal cord, and from there travels along the cerebrospinal fluid to the brain. I confirmed many cases of stemophilis after autopsies. Oh my good god! Fuck! We're learning I have to fucking say all this medical jargon now. God damn it! I also feel eosinophilic meningoencephalitis is known to be caused by a roundworm. and predicted its behavior to be extremely similar. Grandfather said, walking between samples and formalin jars and pointing to several as he gave his explanation. There are over 100 formalin jars in here with parts of brains in them. Oh. Oh, they took them out from those brains. So that psychosurgery thing here. Okay. They were all very dusty, so I spent a few days cleaning them. Did you clean the fluids inside them too, though? Replace them. I'm rather proud to see the sparkling jars all line up like this. Sparkling like marble. However, roundworms introduce an extremely wide range of symptoms. A headache, narcosis, derangement. None of these are characteristic symptoms of roundworms. On the other hand, symptoms of the Hinamizawa syndrome are very specific to that disease. So you're saying that one of them is a claw at one's own throat, yes? It's the most common symptom if things go too terribly, yes? Exactly. Some soldiers who witnessed it just before their fellows died. Such self-mutilation was never seen before in any disease. It only occurs in Hinamizawa syndrome. Also, since the syndrome was only seen with terminal stage patients, I believe that means of exodus, something we've seen before in several parasites. Parasites mature inside of an organism, reproduce, and then leave the host and look for the next one. I'm not just wondering if VLR took inspiration from this a tiny bit, maybe. I'm now curious now. So what do you think about the fact that the cases were only seen as soldiers from Hinamizawa, even though other soldiers touched their blood, which must have been full of parasitic eggs or larvae? Anything there was a possibility of them getting infected? I suspected things like incubation period, but since limited people from the Hinamizawa region, at least something such as the unique local climate must play a role. So, it doesn't transmit by bodily fluid, or at least, like, touching blood, then? Okay. I'll talk about that in the next part, but the ancient ingenious beliefs that Hinamizawa have... No, that can't be possible, Takano. Never heard of parasites behaving socially. Yes, well, that is one of the revolutionary discoveries in Hinamizawa syndrome. Oh boy. Okay, well now they're doubting it. Okay. The elderly gentlemen mumbled to each other while playing the data. With that, I finally realized things aren't going too well. Dr. Takano, I've been reviewing your data while listening to your gracious presentation. First of all, it's something impossible for parasites to control human minds. Okay, are you saying like chemically and biologically they don't make sense because like look at these fucking things in the jars, then you fuck. I know you're all that's the thing. If this whole thing is really just like like again, this seems like just like coincidentally Koizumi didn't show up for all this, literally just not to be here for when everyone like is planned to drive this things all home down now. I'm assuming he had to do all this because it's really just another fucking stupid display of power, honestly. And probably even I guess even more rude, and I guess worse part than how Samazaki's did it again. Like instead of like, you know, taking all the mysterious tragedy and almost pretending that they were the ones behind it, you know, Oreo just slightly suggesting that she was the one behind it, like made the order and something like that. Here it's really just oh, I know you're my best friend and you're working this research for the whole entire life, but I have some you know, connections that if this research becomes anything else, and the whole world might implode, or at least nation Japan. So chill the fuck out. That or just doing just then he does this, just making him bring people in just to act the part, or just to demoralize him. Like it would be almost better if literally just if like this whole thing wasn't made, honestly, and like no one technically, you know, paid much attention to it. I don't know why I have to go this extra mile right now in my brain, unless it goes to more political reasons again, which my dear God, always goes back to politics every single time. God fucking damn it. I mean, first of all, it's simply impossible for parasites to control human minds. Human thoughts are controlled by the brain, which is a work of art created by God. Yeah, this is complete bullshit. Do you not see the fucking jars right there that have parasites in parts of the brain in them? It was literally just described how the even though I believe that parasites that can control the brain, you can see like there's parasites growing inside it. Maybe not controlling it, but there's something growing there. So why not research that anyway? So what the fuck? Furthermore, ideology is an extremely advanced aspect of human thought. It's an advanced capability bestowed only to humans on this planet. Only to humans that you know of. You can't really communicate with other animals, can you? Yet you would say parasites intervene in that? Please, that's absurd. I agree. Ideology can also be considered a manner of thought that prioritizes the whole over the individual. In other words, that's the most important prerequisite condition for society. There's no way parasites would be guilty about that, and their only demand is to pass on their genes. Isn't humanity just like that in some cases anyway? That's literally all animal, that's literally their instincts anyway, at least, broadly speaking. In the field of biology, there was never once been discovery of sociality or sociality within parasites. Why do you think this is a brand new discovery? But there are cases of parasites interfering with the host's behavior. You're misunderstanding one thing, Takano. Yeah, they're literally just doing all that, so. The principle that drives parasites capable of controlling their hosts is always reproduction and propagation. It's only that primitive concept, or survival. So, even the example used before, of a rat infected with Toxoplasma gondii losing its aversion to cats. The elder behavior simply means that their host be eaten by a better host in order to change hosts. Didn't he just say, Hinamizawa is, the best place for him, for it to thrive, or he's not talked about that yet, or discovered that yet? Yeah? That's just like a grasshopper infected with a horsehair worm drowning itself. Once a horsehair matures, it becomes aquatic. When that happens, it guides the grasshopper to the water and drowns it, then enters the environment it's adapted for. Sure, but then, yeah, so it wants to stay around the same area so it can thrive and survive. If, if the person that's host is not in for its right entire environment, then, why would it leave Hinamizawa then? That's why from the looks of it, at least from what we know of now, unless he doesn't have all these notes and research now, then, everything of them gets very homesick and wants to go right back to at least the Hinamizawa area for that whole culture thing. Exactly. The pseudosubtle act of clawing one's throat corresponds to that in the case of Hinamizawa syndrome. For example, guinea worms escape the body by having the host scratch the affected area. Indeed, the purpose of all these parasites is reproduction. For them to infest the brain, God's masterpiece. No. Infecting the brain itself isn't that strange. But to say that infest and influence human ideology is frankly delusional. If they mess with behavior, then yeah, all you're just speaking nonsense now. In fact, that's a dangerous idea. So this is really just turned into the whole thing and just if this is not the whole thing about putting on the grandfather down for his research, then if it's not that, then this is really just the whole thing, just whole thing of the research is too far ahead of its time. I don't think it's that strange that Hinamizawa, an isolated culture, developed its own unique faith. There are actually many examples of that all over Japan. So are you saying all of them are due to parasites? Or that they were all due to culture reasons, because the one in Hinamizawa, which was caused by parasites? How do you establish the distinction? Well, humans have their own version of parasites, called their own living brains. As I said, in my autopsy in the Hinamizawan soldier died in the war, there was sufficient evidence to believe... Excuse me, Dr. Kano, let the man fucking speak first! I don't think you've got enough case studies to call it clinical data. Furthermore, as you said, it was during the war. No, that's what he called, that's why this called for further research then. What the fuck, yeah. No, I mean... As I explained in the next part, Hinamizawa syndrome develops when one experiences suspicion, nervousness, and stress, and becomes emotionally unbalanced. I think it's a unique approach to suspect some manner of commonality if there were several cases of unique and bizarre self-mutilations such as clawing one's throat out. That's all the more reason it's unreliable. So, research on how to make sure it depends if it's bad or not to call that into question then. Maybe just a coincidence that such rare cases that happen under abnormal circumstances like the war. I believe you witnessed the convergence of coincidences and tried to gestaltist view delude yourself into finding a pattern. Prove otherwise, you would need an enormous amount of clinical data on Hinamizawa syndrome patients. Research? Well, ethically, that's impossible to prove. The natives' act of recognizing as a curse suggests it's more within the realm of culture-bound syndrome. You think that's a delusional parasitic disease? I hate to say this, but I think you might have believed that Hinamizawa's a little too much. Point to jar. As a result, you yourself have been taken by their culture-bound reactive syndrome. Actually happens quite often with people who research more unusual fields of study. We're trying to be careful ourselves. The more they talk, the paler my grandfather's face becomes. I would just stun myself. We never heard of parasites like that. That's impossible. Oh, you never heard of those parasites. Okay, maybe that's a whole different thing entirely then. It was just a coincidence and there isn't enough data. The talk goes on, and every time grandfather says something, they dismiss like that, before even speaking, so, eh. So, they're interested, and yet they don't even want to talk about all this because of all that, then yeah. Before he knew it, my grandfather could only hold his silence before their criticisms. Well, no revolutionary discoveries accepted at first. And this research of yours is one of those things. Even if it's ridiculed at first, it may achieve recognition in the later years. That was the time. And since you're older than your grandfather, that means you're stuck in your fucking ways, you traditional bureaucratic people. I'm just an amateur. I'm just a private researcher who didn't graduate from an elite college, nor do I belong to any academic clique. I don't have any connection to the experts at research centers. That's why this is all I can do. Is the Hinamizawa syndrome real, or is it just my delusion, just like you say it is? To find out, I need your help. Jars. Look at the fucking things growing at the head in the jars. Unless I haven't heard a single word from y'all yet. Then this is actually technically parasites from other animals and like that. You haven't mentioned a fucking single thing about that. You're conveniently looking over that. Please say it. I want a single word of that. That'd be fine. To find out, I need your help. Of course, it was the discovery of the century. It would create a major uproar. If this was, though. After all, you're suggesting the human culture and ideologies are the will of parasites. Their frontal lobe is a place for them to live. What an audacious theory. The link between the existence of the Hinamizawa syndrome and the disease carriers believe in Shiro-sama could be established. And it would be possible to explain all religions. No, all culture divisions on Earth. What a magnificent and unique idea. Dr. Kakano? Instead of showing people like us your essays in secret, you should publish a book about it for general public. Grandfather looks at the ground, his fist trembling a little, but their words are far too cruel. I don't know anything about academics, I'm just a little girl. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but... Grandfather worked so hard by himself until today. But to prove his research and delve further into it, he needs sponsors. Yet those sponsors are casting him away, calling his research a delusion. And I don't really know what the article is, but we talked about most of it. It talks about most of his, I guess, data and all that, and still, they were interested in Kane for all that. I'm just wondering if there's a giant ploy for all that, or this is actually is a more interesting meeting. That's outrageous. Like asking which came first, chicken or the egg. What about the third one? The weird, thing growing inside the egg. It's growing outside the egg, halfway outside in the world, and halfway in the egg, middle piece. Besides, if his research was the level those cheeky men want to see, he wouldn't need their help. But they're saying that they can't help him unless they see some results that are beyond the level of private research. And you feel, doesn't research always start out with just a little idea? If you can prove its existence beforehand, then what's the point of researching it to begin with? If while idea can be the subject of research, how do we gain any knowledge at all? Never mind that. So it literally just is the whole thing of him, That's the thing, like, I still can't comprehend entirely what Koizumi said to Mio about the whole thing about entirely all that, the political aspects of it as well, so... Definitely some aspects which I'm probably just not understanding right now. When Mr. Koizumi came 2 weeks ago, didn't he say they were really interested in his research? He fucking lied! It was a fucking setup! What's going on? This is the complete opposite of what he said. He lied. He's no longer best friend material. No longer BFS forever. Get rid of that goddamn friendship bracelet. Yes. I think this is very interesting research. Human brain still holds many secrets. Dr. Katano's idea is an extremely unique one. Seems impossible to ignore, like from a eugenics perspective. Oh, yay. Humans are not God's children. Simply animals who underwent the baptism of evolution. Such according to Darwin, there will be differences in evolution based on environment. In other words, humans can be either superior or inferior. As a nation, we must think how we can maintain a good bloodlines and how we can leave good genes behind. Okay, you're going full-hearted genetics then. If we do not raise that as a national policy, and research towards it, then by the next century, mankind may fall to a fatal position on the hierarchy. To what thing in the hierarchy? Like, there's gonna be some animals that, like, crawl up the whole chain of crawl up the food chain? Okay, the crayfish are now the dominant species in the food chain, okay. Dr. Katano's research has the potential of encompassing more than just parasitic diseases. If the evil, inferior humans we shouldn't let breed can actually be explained by a disease in some genetics, it's possible to correct their behavior through surgery. As a result, we can leave wonderful people for our future. From a eugenic point of view, Dr. Kakano's research should get started immediately. It's possible this could be the greatest discovery since Mons' invention of the lobotomy. Oh, so everyone here is, like, like some psychosurgery stuff. Oh, yay. How old are these people again when Takano got all this with in a little discussion group with Tomataki and Okanogi? How old are these people? How old are these people? If casualty between infectious diseases and an individual's nature could be established, this would be more than Nobel Prize worthy. Kozomi-sensei, thank you for giving us this chance. Takano-kun is a single-minded and passionate man, but he's not good at dealing with people. He's working his research all by himself. But now he's unlimited what one person can do when he needs help. Please, everyone, listen to what Takano-kun has to say. Oh, you don't even need to ask, Sensei. We're the ones who should be thanking you for this opportunity. We're already willing to help him. In fact, the more urgent matter would be arranging jurisdiction within the society. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be involved. Such a unique research project at this age. There was a knock at the door. The sliding door opened and the owner peeked in. Excuse me. There's someone asking for you. May I bring him in? Someone? Who could it be? Oh, this is technically where he learned it, I guess. Oh. No one whispered into Koizumi's ear, and his face turned pale with sun. I was wondering. Please, let him in. No, I'll come greet him with you. As Koizumi stood up, 2 pairs of footsteps reached the door. Sensei, I didn't expect you to be here. Koizumi-kun, long time no see. Fascinating to tell you today. Oh, so like literally he only learned about this right when he only learned about the whole thing of why his research continue like right after he set up the whole meeting then. Okay, that's vastly better. Yes, if you need to tell me something, I'm all ears. Ears everywhere in the head. Please, go ahead. The old man known as Koizumi was not someone whose status could be taken lightly. Although he had retired, he was still powerful enough to wield great influence as a fixer. A fixer? So from his meek attitude, it was easy to figure out what kind of person this man must be. The old man held into his bodyguard's shoulder as he walked. He had an expensive-looking cane in his other hand. He couldn't even walk on his own because of his old age, but his intense, commanding presence hadn't declined one bit. I'll get straight to the point. Your friend's research, you need to put a stop to that. Huh? What do you mean? Koizumi-kun. He must take his no Hinamizawa syndrome to his grave. Nobody should touch it. If he looks into it, well, pick a bush, a snake will come out. A big fat snake, too. Well, pay me to just watch you get swallowed by it. That's why I'm here to give you some advice. Your friends wait for a little? How about it? You want to have some drinks with me in a different room? Yes. I'll come with you straight away. Koizumi realized that he was being pressured. He didn't know which direction it was coming from, but clearly some authorities weren't comfortable with the research of Hinamizawa syndrome. We're trying to stop him from supporting it. Okay, at least it's better he learned about it here, not before it, because holy shit, that's an asshole thing to do before all that. Koizumi-kun, you remember the Marco Polo Bridge incident? Okay, so that's how that's all came to be then. Yeah. This is utter nonsense. We came here today expecting to hear a more objective side. We wouldn't even come all the way here for something like this, but since Koizumi-sensei asked us, we didn't have a choice. This really was a waste of time, but in a way, it was a good thing we came. We were able to give you some advice. You should a bonsai instead of wasting the rest of your life on this. Bonsai is great. I agree. It's not healthy to stare at formalin jars in a study. Now you comment the jars, right? Fucking now, you fucking ignoramuses. You now comment on the fucking brain jars, the parasites in them. Now you comment on them. For all this time, you never even decided to make a single goddamn quip or line about it. But now you say it as when you're just as a fucking insult. You don't even comment on those. I see. But it sure is a unique subject. If you want, I'll introduce you to the chief of a publishing company. The general public loves things like this, you know. Oh, you're describing it like that. Oh, well, fuck you. I'm not even trying to hide their hostility. They're laughing at my grandfather, denouncing him, saying things to denigrate not only his research, but his personality as well. Again, look at the fucking jars. And just, if they say the whole thing of, like, it's all, all fake and forgery, then and if you had all the photos in the article, then it becomes even funnier than just to say, oh, so you looked at the fucking photos in the thing, clear photographs in the article, and you came here just to say to denounce them? Wow, what poor, impolite taste you'll have. If they're simply trying to provoke him, any response would just be giving them what they want. In this moment, Grandfather tried to remain a noble researcher and a proud human being. He's no longer trembling. On the contrary, he apologized to them for taking up their time and told them he had no intention of keeping them any longer. Yes, out, shove, push. You don't get any tea biscuits. Mio, take them all out before they even take a sip. No. We'll give this article back to you. That would be much easier if we could actually call it an article. One of the other gentlemen tossed it back to him. Grandfather couldn't catch it in time. The article worked so hard and fell on the floor, paper scattered all over the carpet. The other gentleman left the study without even apologizing for it. Everyone else followed suit. Just fucking hey Mio, just trip with the fucking tray and just goes onto their clothes. As they left, they trotted over to my grandfather's article. It looked like grandfather's expression didn't change. I could see it warping. I could see the wall of research grandfather bore crunching and warping sadly. I jumped. I got into the elderly gentleman's leg. I don't hate him. If I asked if I hate him or not, the answer would be yes, but that's not the point here. No, disregard my own feelings right now. What I really can't stand is this foot stepping on my grandfather's article. Don't step on it! Don't step on it! Grandpa worked so hard on it, don't step on it! I just want to move the foot that's standing on his papers. The foot doesn't move no matter how hard I push or pull. As it's reached the floor. Grab hot tea! Splash it right in the groin area. I felt someone grabbing me from behind. My grandfather. Please excuse my granddaughter. Don't worry about this. We'll clean it up. Don't! Don't step on them! I'm telling you to step on grandfather's article! My screams don't mean a thing to them. They completely ignored my screams. They choose to step on the papers and with the study. This is why I accidentally tripped with a tray of hot tea. Boiling 3rd degree hot tea. Only my grandfather and I remained in there now. My grandfather is still grabbing the back of my collar. I don't have any words left to say, only cries. My grandfather is determined not to show any emotion. He doesn't even open his mouth. So the cry for him. Just then, my grandfather slapped me in the face. Okay. That startled me. And crying for him, so why'd he slap me? Then I understand. Grandfather's the one who wants to cry. But he's enduring. So sorry, I'm fucking jealous that my kid is actually crying for me. I'm being jealous I can't do that right now, so abuse. So I shouldn't cry either. Wipe my eyes and my runny nose. Then suddenly turned my eyes to the papers and the carpet. Just like my grandfather. Sorry, Mio. I don't understand why he's apologizing. I thought he was going to complain about the rudeness. If I worked harder, this wouldn't have happened. Until today, you helped me so much. It's all for nothing. Sorry about that. How courageous he was. Even after that disaster, he's still concerned about me. I shook my head and put my hands on the floor. I tried to gather the papers, but then they began to fall. My tears are overflowing again, blurring the ink in the papers. These are all handed by my grandfather. He was so happy they were finally there with someone who understood his research. He was so happy he spent all night writing these. And he stepped on them. Might as well have stepped on my grandfather's very soul. I didn't work hard enough. If I'd done more, this wouldn't have happened. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll work even harder. I won't give up because of something like this. I don't know if he's saying that to me or to himself. Don't worry. God is watching. I have to believe that I'll gain recognition. That day will come. That's why they keep working harder. Grandfather says it all the time. But I know the truth. God only plays with people's fate. He doesn't save anyone out of goodwill. That's why he let this happen to my grandfather. You know, he's worked so hard and so humbly until today. That's why such a horrible thing happened to me when I was still an innocent little girl. Grandfather keeps repeating himself. But I know the truth. God exists. The existence grandfather believes in is real. There's no mercy found in God. He delivers unreasonable fates and makes us call it a challenge. Can't tell my grandfather that, of course. I asked God once more, like I did on the day of the thunderstorm. Why? Why can't you give my grandfather's effort and hard work the recognition he deserves? Grandfather told me he'll gather the papers, so I should put away the teacups. I nodded silently and put the teacups that hadn't been touched onto the serving cart. The push to the study, Grandfather told me. He told me to close the door after I leave. Might always close the door when I leave. He doesn't need to remind me. That's what he wants, so without saying anything, I closed the door. Then as I walked away from the study, I heard my grandfather sobbing. Tears filled my eyes once more. Sadness and disappointment. I almost feel angry with myself for not being able to do anything for him. Then, I felt a cool breeze in my wet cheeks. The fucking window's open. The breeze was blowing in from a cracked open window. The curtain was flapping gently in the breeze. I heard the cry of the Higurashi. As I listened to them, I calmed down gradually. If I can ease grandfather's pain by crying, then I'll cry in his place. But that won't help. On the contrary, he started to cry because I did. I'm being useless here. I remember that day. I remember the reason why I'm alive now. If he hadn't come and saved me, I would have spent the last days of my life lying in the corner of the bathroom as a human-shaped piece of meat. Grandfather saved me. He gave me back my rights. The right to walk, the right to stand up, the right to wear clothes, the right to eat, the right to speak, and the right to think. In other words, the right to live as a human being. Grandfather took action right after he got the phone call from me. He found my house. He found out which orphanage I was sent to, after circling through the sloppily-filled records of the public office. Then he saved me. I mean, of course, he was working his research then. He spent his precious research time on saving me, a perfect stranger. I vowed that if his heart failed, I'd rip out my own heart and give it to him. But of course, his heart is fine. So he doesn't need a heart. He needs something else that's equally important right now. That's the only thing I can give him in this whole world. I clench my fists. What is this? Okay. I held him so tightly, my nails left marks. I now know what I'm supposed to do with this new life as Mio Takano. I finally know it's my purpose. I know the reason why the new me was born. I know the purpose of Mio Takano now. The big decision that inhabits a tiny soul. Okay. My life is heavier than the earth. But my decision is heavier than the earth. I thought I knew of my grandfather's greatness, but I actually didn't know the half of it. For me to be able to really help him, I had to reach his level. Study harder, cram all the book into your goddamn brain, in through one ear, into the brain, just to collect and percolate. All my lessons laid back to my grandfather. There wasn't a single subject that I could ignore. Right now, studying hard is what I can do for him. Oh, hi. I've been a teacher for a long time. I've never seen such a hardworking student. You learn not only academically, but socially as well. You made a great deal of friends. I have a goal which I can only reach by studying hard. Also, I know how powerless an isolated genius is. That's why I needed to learn to socialize. That's not enough. I'm not even close to where I want to be. Entering college is only a step forward. What matters is what I learned there. I'm not even close. I'm not even close to being able to help my grandfather now. I'm so proud of you. You can go to Tokyo or Hinamizawa University or any college of your choice by now. Nothing will stop you. The most important thing for you is that the school will teach you what you want to learn. Diseases. To fulfill the wish and weave a desired future. The strength of a string is how strong your will is. A noble and strong wish will come true. Do I have what I need to be able to truly understand Hinamizawa syndrome and help grandfather's research? I don't need compromises or excuses. The heights I seek are lofty and precipitous. This is enough. Not even close. My classmates are such idiots, adding that they're winners in life just because they entered this school. A college is simply a place to learn what I need to know. This self-proclaimed best school isn't worth my time, then I'm not interested in it. I didn't expect a talented woman like you to end up at this parasite research center. I'm sure everyone wanted you, huh? I assumed you were interested in something bigger. I want to study and research parasites. I worked hard to earn the right to study here. Aren't I qualified to learn? Yes, of course. There's no reason why we would refuse someone who got the top score in the entrance exam. Welcome to the Parasite Research Center. People usually aren't that interested in our field. There aren't too many researchers who study it. That's why there's still a lot of unknown elements compared to other fields. That's quite true. The study of parasites is a mysterious world. Or rather, it's an ignorant one. An ignorant world with a preconception that parasites can't possibly control humans pervades. Those ignorant people laughed at grandfather and stepped all over his article. There are still many unsolved mysteries in the world of parasites. I'm here to solve them. I came here to help the people who want to solve them. A wish is guaranteed to come true, but it's not called a wish. That is fate, not a wish. I weave fate. I become a god! Fate is an absolute power to control people in the world, not just an individual. Okay, so that's where the whole god complex came in. I understand that much now. Learning is enough for me. I gotta learn everything. Anatomically, biologically, chemically, all the way down to even the subatomic level. Everything. Everything. If I can learn how if I can learn how to fucking manipulate people and get where I need in the world and figure out what these parasites do, then I can become a god itself. Aha! Yeah. I had to be able to research my grandfather, and so I don't ignore the means to gain the help my grandfather couldn't get. Grandfather's research isn't complete just when it's finished being written on a desk. I need the help of plenty of people to present it to the world. His great work will be praised by many. Ashtray. Yes, that's correct. This is an association only the top graduates of the Imperial University allowed to join. Therefore, as only 7 people per year allowed to join, a small group compared to a normal organization of alumni. However, its solidarity is unrivaled. Thank you for inviting me to such a gathering. I'm honored. I'd like to take the lowest seat. Oh, no. We can't let someone with such accomplishments and experience sit in the lowest seat. I'm sure everyone will welcome you. The head minister and several important government officials, company presidents, and company advisors will be here. They'll need you, and they'll provide the help you'll need. Koizumi-sensei belongs to this association, right? He was my grandfather's best friend. What a coincidence. I see. I'm sure Koizumi-sensei will be glad to find out that you'll be joining. Whether it's coincidence or not, or just you went to this exact field to rub into them best friend's face, honestly, and honestly, yes. An isolated genius is a useless one. People live in society. We live in a society. Society is made up of connections between people. Nobody can ignore that. I do my best as an individual, but to gain the power that can't be achieved as a mere individual, I had to rely on my connections in society. It's all for one purpose. My only wish is Mio Takano. Yes, I can't spare any effort. My certain conviction will forge a certain future. Nobody can interfere. Nobody can stop me. I won't allow a die to roll a 1 or -0. I won't admit that diligent efforts can be erased by a mere train accident. I'm gonna make all the die roll 6s. I won't entrust the die to God. I won't give in to luck. The only people who pray to God are people who don't want to work hard. I don't trust God. I'm gonna create those results myself. My strong will is gonna create a certain future that the God can't possibly prevent. This is a different way to become a god than the one my grandfather taught me. This is a way to become a god while still alive. When I realized it, I became truly free. Free from the sadness of losing my parents and my miserable life after that. Free from grandfather's tears when his article was stepped on. That's right. I'll be above God. I'll be an existence that God caprices can't even touch. How many people recognize grandfather's research? That's the future I wish for. The future I promise will come to pass. People fight over grandfather's article. People respectively read the same article that was once ridiculed and stepped on. Even grandfather dies before that day comes. I won't cry to something like that. Because he already taught me. Instead of being buried, one can be resurrected. I'm going to complete his great work, and the whole world praise him. Grandfather will resurrect, become a god. He'll be eternal. That's an everlasting bond. A bond that even a train accident can break. A bond that not even a die that rolls a 1 can disturb. Since the day of the train accident, my dies kept rolling 1s over and over. But I didn't give up. I kept working hard until today. I'll rise above the die. I'll decide what to roll on it. I'll decide my own fate. I'll do that with my unshakable willpower. Hey look, it's Hinamizawa. Does that mean the reason why she made the whole town go under, I guess, as well? Nothing else, like, I guess, influenced her was because of, well, like, that was the other thing, because she technically then decided to, hide the whole fact that the disease exists, though, and then everyone died from a gas disaster. I don't know if that technically qualifies under her goals, then, if, the disease technically becomes secret only to government officials, though. I mean, I guess only to, people of higher standing who had to keep reading it over and over, I guess, but when she described it, she wanted the entire world to know about it. So then, what changed her mind? After all that. When does the clinic open? Is there gonna be air conditioning? The fucking air conditioning! The cars have it, we need to have it in the fucking buildings too right now! I heard it'll open next month. I hope there'll be a young doctor there. Yeah, of course. I heard some old ladies talking amongst themselves when I was going up the stairs to the shrine. The Erie Clinic is already completed, and it's waiting and ready for opening day. The state-of-the-art equipment has been delivered, and the research is waiting to begin as well. Erie, too, is sitting by in top form. He's almost as passionate as I am about Hinamizawa syndrome. The Mountain Dogs, the counterintelligence unit to support and protect our research, are already stationed at a dummy company somewhere near Okinawa. They're getting in touch with various public institutions. Everything is going well. The only thing to worry about would be the rumors about the Hinamizawa Dam construction plans. Ah. There's a rumor that the Ministry of Construction is pushing through a dam project that will submerge all of Hinamizawa, but they're under pressure from several groups. Okay, even the government itself? Okay, so that was another thing of they literally just made the clinic, and then there's plans of a dam product pushing through all of it. Okay, then. None of my contacts have much influence in Ministry of Construction, so things aren't going well. Even applying pressure doesn't work. There are other measures, so either way, I'll come to a deadlock. I'm not being optimistic. I just know that's how it'll end. I will conduct research here in Hinamizawa. I will kill people for all to happen. But that's the thing, because that means they technically manipulate some of the construction team to kill them. Somehow. They framed them, but like they said Was it a framing job, or actually were they the ones responsible for it? I'm going to accomplish that with my absolute will. That's why, if God rolls a 1 on the die, and says that he's going to submerge Hinamizawa, I will not be afraid. I won't entrust my die to God, keep it close to the chest, it's sprinkled to my goddamn hands and clothes. I'm the one who's going to pick up the die, and I'm going to roll a 6. I didn't come to this shrine to declare war on the god of this place. I came here because I know that you can get a great view from up here. Well, don't declare war on this town's god. Proclaim war on the god of gods. I walked by the shrine and headed to the spot where I found last time I visited. It's the perfect spot for overlooking the entire village. The strong wind reminds me that I'm only at the starting line, and that there will be a headwind before I reach my goal. I looked over the village without faltering the wind. Grandfather approached the syndrome from a medical point of view, but he also approached it from a folkloric one as well. The strange belief system in this village is proof the existence of Hinamizawa syndrome was already known of even in ancient times. So, it'd be extremely useful to research their history too. My grandfather hadn't been doing research for hundreds of years, of course. This place has been here for hundreds of years. They've been living with Hinamizawa syndrome for that long, for as long as they can remember. Therefore, the beliefs creating this place and the legend itself can be considered the foremost researchers. It's simply stupid to just call them old folk tales or nonsense. I've been researching them slowly, but they are indeed very interesting. No wonder grandfather was intrigued by them. Hinamizawa syndrome has many fascinating sides to it. It's just like a kaleidoscope, showing infinite light with ever a slight change in angle. It's so much fun to trace grandfather's research. Find the same results as my grandfather reminds me that I'm indeed following his footsteps, which makes me very happy. This shrine is dedicated to Oyashiro-sama, the garden deity of the village. Just laying out all your goddamn research notes honestly right here, just showcasing it Oyashiro-sama, like, this is all the stuff research I have, don't worry about it, just tell me what things I got wrong, just give me some pointers. But this god that the villagers worship is simply a delusion that was created by the parasites. When I solve their secret and announce it to the world, the god of this place will be no more. That's the moment I will take revenge on the one who put me through misery and tested my fate. That's it, isn't it? This isn't just about making my grandfather's dreams come true. It's one half your goal. It's also about getting revenge for my miserable life. I went back to the front of the shrine. There's an offertory box there, and I'm tempted to throw in some coins, but you normally offer coins to ask for mercy. I don't trust my fate to God, so I don't need to give an offering. I'm going to unmask him. But until then, Oyashiro-sama is a god. Okay, in that case, I'll show respect. For now. This declaration of war. I pulled out a 10-yen coin from my wallet. The 10-yen coin I found in the telephone booth changed my life. If it hadn't been there, my life would have ended then. I'm grateful, at least, for that 10-yen coin. I'm not grateful to the god of this shrine, though. But I haven't forgiven you yet. I never accepted anything from you, and I am here because of my own hard work. Yeah, just like you only gave one small sliver chance and let everything else to them. Tough love? Eh. Even if you keep playing tricks of fate, or keep rolling a die on one, that won't bother me. With my stern will, I'm going to get what I want. My grandfather will be praised, and become a god because of the research I'll do in this place. I will defeat the god of this village, become an existence above even gods. Since when did I care about God? Huh. Because my grandfather often taught about him. So yes, to turn into a buzzword. It feels like almost this point, almost like Feindicity, at least here, it's becoming a buzzword a tiny bit. Here. This is the 10-yen coin you gave me before. My debt's paid off now. You just keep clinging to your throne, and tormenting people with your trials, while I fight my battles to knock you down from there. And so, I chuckled. I chucked the 10 yen coin I once borrowed from God into the offertory box. For a moment, I couldn't understand what happened. You went to the other dimension. The 10 yen coin was supposed to fall into the offertory box, but how can I explain this? That's not what happened. I am correctly for certain. Who would miss an offertory box anyway? If there's like a little, like a piggy bank slot on the top, if it's really just, all that I'm, That's not it. Because the 10 yen coin stopped in mid-air as it got stuck in a spider web. What? Then it bounced back to me and fell by my feet. It was as though the offertory box refused the coin. Well, that's the god that's literally just, oh, yeah, sure, so I'm just proclaiming that I'm, fuck you and your coin. More it is. Of course. An offertory box is to respect God. But what I did was challenge him. Actually, what the fuck did Hanyo do, honestly, here? Was she just here for all of this? Like, them, willpower of, I don't need your fucking coin, you person. Actually makes even, okay then. If, like, this is one of those those timelines where, Hanyo went back, honestly, and, I guess, hates Takano, then, that sort of aspect, and, no fucking wonder she did that. That just means, it becomes one-sided on either end, then. And, talking, then. Yay. But what I did was challenge him. That means this is... I jumped. Because I thought I was the only one here. Anyone would jump when finding out there's someone else sitting there unexpectedly. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. I expected you were gonna be here, but not in fucking person. Transcended time and dimension itself just to talk, okay. How long has she been there? It's like she came out from the shrine. A mysterious girl is sitting on the other side of the offering box. She's wearing a shrine maiden uniform, so she must be one of the caretakers here. That's what I thought too, until I could see straight through her skull. But there's something else about her. She's not just one of the shrine caretakers. She is the shrine itself. Because the girl staring into my eyes. No, she's glaring. I smiled back fearlessly. I think she heard my words of challenge to God. She's wearing an expression on her face because of that. The words came out naturally. You are the god of this place, aren't you? The girl didn't nod, but I took that as a yes. What a contradictory feeling. I'm rejecting the god of this land, denying its very existence, and I don't doubt this girl is that god. I doubt your power, is what I'm assuming the feeling you have is. The girl opened her mouth to speak. A strong will reinforces fate. That's right. That's what I say to myself often. I never said that to anyone or quoted it from anything. So under normal circumstances, I should be surprised to hear this girl say that. But this girl isn't human, so I'm not surprised. You can read everyone's thoughts. I replied to her. God throws the die of fate and has fun with people, depending on what he gets. But people have willpower. The stronger the willpower, the less chance of being bound by the result of the die. You see? People can gain a power that's strong enough to fight fate by working to their limits. Yes, I understand that very well. Unshakable conviction defeats the die of fate. That's right. That is mankind's revenge against the gods who toy with them by die roll. The hymn of those who would slough the gods' interference and forge their own destiny. Know my divinity. They earn this day through effort enduring all my misfortune. Spiteful laughter flowed out of my mouth. The girl's face displayed a strong will of her own. Expression didn't even change a bit. Oh, hi. I understand very well. No matter how many times we repeat, our fate doesn't change. That was because of your strong willpower. Oh, this is for this timeline, the 8th one. Okay, then. Or at least that's just centuries repeating things all over again. That's right. A strong will reinforces fate. That fate, so empowered, isn't bothered by the result of a die. That means a certain future. You, a human found that truth before us gods, been living for hundreds of years. I admit it. Your existence is close to that of a god. God complex validated. I'm honored. The girl glared at me with her eyes half shut. No. It was more like she was proclaiming something to me, or displaying her own strong willpower. Oh, hi. I won't be defeated this time. We always thought we couldn't win against you. That's why I surrendered. I abandoned hope and crawled around the wheel of life. But then I learned. The power of belief can cause a miracle that forges your destiny. Oh, are you saying you'll cause a miracle? Using your strong will that will defeat the destiny woven by mine? That's logical enough. Because that's the law of this world. A strong will can make a desired future possible. We? Who's we? Won't be defeated by your will. That's fine. So you insist on being an old god. Try it, and see if your willpower can defeat mine. God tests people. But people aren't allowed to test God. So, I'm gonna test you here. See if your willpower can defeat mine. Come on, go ahead. Try it. That's clear declaration of war from me to God. This is the beginning of my revenge towards God. Put me through so much misery. Probably this is the first time you ever had actual full-on decoration, honestly. So I'm give you that. I'm assuming actually that did Hanyo actually just decide to go like all the way back in time, just witnessed like what Takano went through then? Okay. And this girl, this god, is accepting my challenge directly. I'm not as powerful as you are. I can't do as many things as you can. Even my willpower is strong as yours. You're still more powerful than I am. That's right. I gain overwhelming power. Corporealness, but she managed to fucking like sling a coin back into there. She's learning to become a true ghost in the world now. You have absolutely no idea what I had to go through to gain it. You can't even touch me. I know how powerful you are. Compared to yours, the power of my friends and I command is insignificant. But I can choose not to give up. I won't admit my loss. I won't give up until the day when your die rolls 1 and my die rolls 6. I'll prove the strength of my own willpower by not surrendering to you for eternity. Stacking up stones on the riverbed will allow us to cross the river, and appear before you as an equal. Just stack stones until my just comes like a little step stool. And that's when this long battle of fate will come to an end. Fine, come on then. We'll see who has a stronger will. Whoever has a stronger conviction will create the future. The future desire by the stronger conviction will come to pass. I will hold my ground. In my future, my grandfather's great work is praised, and he becomes a god. I take revenge on God for testing me by making me go through such a misery. So I'm just defeat those two different things, and I'm of your own will, and everything turns out great. Okay. Stupid little god. I'll show you. Oh. I'll drag you down from your pedestal. Bring it on. Well, that's the one time she expressed any kind of emotions, or she keeps everything in check then. That's probably the only time where something, I guess, new and different actually happens to her then. Oh, that's literally just, okay, the prologue for all of this. Okay. Chapter 8. Matsuri Bayashi. And now I'm just sitting here just wondering if Hanya technically was falling with everyone else, and she technically has know-how on Takano itself. That'd be a tiny bit, I guess unfair, but well, after all this time, from several timelines and repeating it all over again, then yeah. And yeah, those achievements, I forget, I didn't read it in time, but I just said finish the prologue. all of that was the prologue then. But like, I thought we were gonna get something that showcased them exactly why she decided to go after the dam, but like, well, not the dam itself, but like, why kill everyone? That's the one thing that's not been said there. I'm assuming that's gonna be addressed then later because in the sound of it, honestly, if the research is gonna be done anyway, then yeah. So it'd be another thing if like like I it's the whole thing of like, okay, yes, like you went through some hard stuff and like it's fine if you go after the people that wronged you and all that sense, but you're technically going after an entire town who has technically done really nothing. I mean, the only thing I guess you can say is go against against the god of Oyashiro-sama or like Hanyo, I guess. Would just be destroy the town, but like you didn't technically even do that. You just removed everyone in the village itself and not destroyed anything else. I don't know exactly what's going down there, unless of course it's all just again like more symbology stuff. But I don't quite understand symbology of what she's trying to do right then and there because at the same time, she wants her grandfather's research to be recognized and by all, but then she kind of cuts her research short to kill everyone in the village. And for the sound of it, she always had this plan out from the outset or like thought about later on. And then, got closer to Tomotaki and like pretend to date him just for all this. Just for all this to come to fruition and to come to pass. So I'm just sitting here just wondering, what was the purpose of like killing like, and making sure convincing the government to kill everyone in town just to prove that you're a god? I mean, if you just prove the research honestly is that, and so literally just you're planning to kind of just plan to kill so many people just to get back in their miserable life, which technically speaking, even from the sounds of it, since it was not confirmed or denied or anything like that, and the orphanage is nowhere near Hinamizawa itself. So she's just blaming an entire town. Like, I can totally probably imagine like Takano would probably like feel that way if like Hanyo talked to her each and every time. But from just that conversation alone, it makes it feel like Hanyo is only talking to Takano like this the very first time, at least like this. That's what makes it sound like. But like, I can understand that whole thing. But like, I'm just sitting here wondering why then? Why kill everyone then? That's kind of a twisted way for a god complex, so I won't give you flack for that. I mean, there's several villains before of other stories where I was completely down with them doing their own thing, like going against people actually wronged them in the past, like the whole misery thing and all that. But the very second they got involved, like an innocent person involved, like sure they like for this, like, some stories like they get an innocent person involved and try to ensure their safety, but the ones that involve, I guess, absolute harm to them or the deaths, yeah, no, just no, go down the drain immediately. So I'm not entirely. I'm just weirded out by our motivation, honestly, or just don't understand exactly to that level, symbolically or not. Why did she get her research to become all the way to there and then decide to tank it by then killing everyone? That's the one thing I don't know. That's the one thing I can effectively claim right here. That's the one thing I don't understand. If it looks of it, we're going straight to the prologue. So unless like the story's gonna accompany that and showcases the one flaw in her own ideology, then it's literally she just she's taking her own past misery from both before she like was taken in by Hifumi Takano, and then the pain that was caused from his own research, and trying to make up to him, like for all the things he's done, by taking her into his home and like give her an opportunity to actually live in the world. Then for all intents and purposes, she technically took her own misery and then decided to take it on people who don't really deserve it. It'd be another thing entirely if it's about a whole bunch of people that wronged her a different way. But like from the sound of it, she just targeted the town itself just because of research and like not because the people wronged her in any significant way itself. Like for anything, if anyone would be at fault here for anything like that, it would just be the people who had research before and like then just politically ruin them. But even then, just why the town murder and all that stuff? Carry out they all die and all stuff like that. I could still buy the whole fact of her like having a fun time manipulating people and all that, but like at least the motive to me right now doesn't fully connect. Maybe they'll address that by the end where everyone like does like I'm already envisioning like they actually like talk her down from things. I can already imagine happening way later on, but right now I don't quite understand if there's like a logical or even emotional link between the two. Not right now anyway. And I guess they'll showcase that flaw or anything like that, or just like get down some other way. Hmm. So I guess next time, I guess we'll fully come into Rika's point of view again with Hanyo, and I guess I'm planning everything out from there. This was chapter 4, so we have like 8 or 7 chapters because I can't count on the top of my head because I'm the whole end of chapter 3 and 4 thing. Like I'm pretty sure right now we finished chapter 4, so we have 8 more to go, and to flesh out I guess their entire plan and to figure out how does they go against entire more government force the god complex. There's that. And also like some smaller things I want to get resolved just to say like this. Or at least there's like at least enough evidence to like to figure out exactly what happened to them or where they are right now. Like there's 2 things come to mind right now that I want to figure out and or at least want to know. Like I'm obviously probably they're gonna hint about it already because they already gave a teaser that like the ending of the last installment that I'm whatever happened to Satoshi. But also, I'm wondering why did like some like the mountain dogs actually head to the dam site, the padlock gate, honestly, in the very first installment. Because the sound of it, there would be no reason there's so many years and all that. That's why they need to go do that. Then was it something to pick up the exact same day that the entire town was gonna get destroyed and gassed out and everyone was gonna get killed? Why didn't they grab it sooner? And why have you that day specifically? That's the one thing I want to know so much. And it's just a few things of those that, the motive doesn't exactly let my brain. I guess I'll take this other chance to maybe figure it out if there's a even bigger reason that doesn't go down to just twisted just a twisted goal of becoming a god by killing everyone by showcasing the power, like be able to kill everyone and still get away with it scot free. If it's not that, then there must be something else to it. But I guess for next time we'll go along with Rika, and I guess we'll see how she all talks to everyone in her friend group of how to convince Keiichi, Mion, Shion, Reina, and Sadako convince him I'm in a fucking time loop, or the very least, if she's not going to go with that, which bad move, bad call, Rika. Go with time loop. Explain that all this bad is happening, and if not, have fun trying to explain why Takano of all people, when she's developed no obvious signs of suspicion, have fun trying to explain to everyone that she must accept at all costs, and there's reason to do so. Have fun with that. But I guess we'll see how she'll be able to convince everyone about Takano's own wrath and her plan to destroy the entire town. I guess we'll find it all out for next time. So, hope a fun time watches as I am playing this. Hope to see you next time, what time that may be. And I all hope you fantastic day.